Welcome back. BronxWorks operates multiple older adult centers to help seniors engage with the community while combating isolation and loneliness. The older adult centers offer recreation, workshops, meals, trips, celebrations, and monthly food pantries. Joining me now to tell us all that they do is the program director at East Concourse Older Adult Center for BronxWorks, Solomon Smart.
Hi.
Solomon, thank you for being with us
Thank
today.
you for having me, yeah.
Yeah, now I know I shared a little bit about obviously some of the work that BronxWorks does, but talk to me about obviously what are some of the initiatives you're doing? How do you also work with our older seniors?
So I run an older adult center in the Bronx. I've been doing that for 20 years now. And BronxWorks runs 10 older adult centers. Actually, 7 older adult centers and 3 centers that are considered naturally occurring retirement communities where people age in place in those apartments. And they're gathering places where older adults can combat isolation, meet new friends, access benefits and services. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as I was mentioning to you before we got started, that as a field reporter previously too, we get to go out in the field and obviously cover these events. And we've been to some of the BronxWorks, so we get to see that connection and how you obviously take care of our older seniors.
Yeah.
Especially now as well with the winter happening and getting these cold winters.
Yeah.
How is BronxWorks also stepping in to support them?
Well, one of the things that we want to think about when we think of older adults, sometimes we can think of them as someone other. We just have to think of ourselves. Sure, no one likes to be cold, but no one likes to stay home. And so our centers provide a place where they can come and they can gather. They know they can get there safely. And we just make accommodations to allow them to get there. We have transportation services in some of our older adult centers, and there's access to Access-a-Ride. And we just remain open and remain providing services for our older adults, even during these cold months.
And can you expand on that as well, the transportation aspect? You know, how important is it for them to have a way to get to these centers, especially on these cold days? How does that work?
Well, the wonderful thing is that there are over 300 older adult centers throughout New York City. And so BronxWorks having 7 of them, they're in various different locations. So chances are any older adult is very close to an older adult center. We're very accessible by public transportation, but also that extra measure of having transportation services for those who aren't able to access those traditional means of getting to the centers is vitally important. And so they just contact our centers, work with a caseworker, and they can be set up for those benefits,
Yeah, that's incredible to hear. I mean, with that as well, I wonder, what is the age group that you work with when we talk about our older seniors, as I like to say, our wiser seniors?
So anyone 60 and older can participate in an older adult center. And you just have to be have an address within the 5 boroughs of New York City.
Okay, and to be able to obviously access those services, do they have someone helping them facilitate obviously getting to BronxWorks or finding out more about the additional programs that you offer?
Yeah, I mean, one could start out going to our website, BronxWorks.org. They can find all the addresses and phone numbers on our website for our older adult centers, and you can call and you can speak with someone there, and we can get you all that you need in order to get started.
Yeah, that's great. Now, of course, we talked about addressing that part of the winter, which is very top of mind for a lot of adult seniors.
Yeah.
What other programs and activities do you have as well as BronxWorks?
At BronxWorks as a whole?
Yeah, well, for our seniors, of course,
For
that
our
they can take
seniors,
advantage of.
So all of our older adult centers, we offer all kinds of activities, all kinds of celebrations, as well as case management services where we will assist them with applications to any benefits, maybe reapplications and renewals, housing assistance, even some legal assistance opportunities. And we also provide food pantries once a month, as well as meals, including breakfast and lunch, Monday through Friday.
Wow. How important and why is it important to address that nutrition aspect, you'd say, with our seniors?
So, food insecurity is a huge issue among all people, particularly older adults. And every older adult that comes in, they are immediately screened for their nutrition services. And depending on how that score goes, they'll get an automatic referral. And it's just vitally important because sometimes people need food and they won't let you know, or they've become so accustomed to living with less than what's good for them that they don't even know that they're actually experiencing food insecurity and that there's opportunity to address that need.
Yeah, I think something that you mentioned there too is that sometimes they might be aware that they have this need, but maybe don't even know how to address it, how to get those
Absolutely.
services.
Absolutely.
And I think that also connects to that part of the isolation and sometimes
Yes.
feeling alone.
Yes.
How does BronxWorks work with them to kind of build this community and
Yeah.
get them out there?
Well, I was thinking about it earlier. There's an old show called Cheers, and the song said, a place where everyone knows your name and they're always glad you came. And that's what you can expect in an older adult center. You'll go in, it's a wonderful atmosphere, and it just lifts your spirits immediately. And there are all kinds of activities that you can do and people that you can meet your age, maybe older, as well as interact with the staff. And then you can find out opportunities that you can engage with. Maybe you have an old dream you want to fulfill. You wanted to act. Well, we provide drama classes. You want to learn about technology. Well, we have a technology course that's actually focusing on artificial intelligence, right? And so there's so many things that we can do. And February is actually National Older Adult Independence Month. So there are many things that we're doing to foster and promote the independence of older adults.
Wow. With obviously February touching on that, I mean, talk to me about what can people expect? Any other programs happening right now to address that and to bring more awareness to it?
Yeah, I actually, and I wrote this down, and I want to just look at it so I get it right.
Yeah, of course.
One of our centers is actually taking people to the Harlem International Museum of Black History, obviously honoring Black history. And our center, we're actually doing something, we do a thing called Tea Time Talk, where we just gather people together, we have coffee, we have tea, and we talk about certain things. And this month, on the 20th, at our center, the East Concourse Older Adult Center, we've invited the New York Police Department to come in and talk to our older adults about safety in the community, what their needs are, and how that, and they can communicate that with the NYPD and just continue that relationship. We also have the fire department coming in, talking with our older adults. How can they have fire safety prevention in their homes? And so we're doing all of these things to promote the ability for older adults to remain independent as long as they can.
Yeah, that sounds like a great lineup, of course, of events coming up. With what you've shared as well, Solomon, I'd love to know, you have a 27-year history with BronxWorks.
Yeah.
Going up on 28, you mentioned, you know, this year, in August. How does that feel when you get to see these seniors take advantage of obviously these programs? It helped them out. Any success stories?
Yeah, we definitely have success stories. I'll just call her Monica for the sake of anonymity. She was isolated in her home. She recently had come to the United States. She didn't know what was available to her until she was walking on the street and she ran into another older adult who told her about our center. She came, and when she was first there, and this is a common experience, we see people come in facing the difficulties of life. Maybe they're a little weighed down, maybe not in the best of spirits. And this happened with Monica. And you could just see almost immediately for her countenance lifted. There was joy in her face. She said she could not believe that this place was available. And not only that, she's met so many friends and people that she actually likes and people that she's connected with outside of the center. And this is something that many people don't understand. They hear Older Adult Center. They think, oh, that's a place where people go to die. No, it's where people come to live, where people come to experience vitality and come to new life. And I would challenge people, come visit. If you have an older adult member and you're trying to get them out of the house, bring them to an Older Adult Center and let them see what's happening.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that obviously story about Monica. When you talk about being able to bring someone to experience these programs, is there anything people have to do to sign up to be able to attend, to get to like kind of trial it out? How does that kind of work?
So we encourage all older adults and even their families, come visit the center. You can visit for a couple of days, check it out, see what it's like, see how you like it, ask questions, and then you can register to participate in our activities. And that just requires identification and just some, contact information so that we can just make sure that you're safe there.
Yeah. Now, of course, with that as well, we are in the Bronx. It's all about community here. What can the community do as well to support the work that BronxWorks does?
Well, again, I would say first, start off at our website, BronxWorks.org. You can also follow us on our social media, on our Instagram. Our handle is BronxWorks, @BronxWorks. And then I would say take up that challenge, bring an older adult to an older adult center. Look at one of our centers and come visit. Even if you don't bring an older adult, come volunteer. Reach out to our development department and find a way that you can volunteer at our older adult center. And then finally, every May, BronxWorks does a fundraising event. Reach out to us and see how you can contribute to that fundraising event, which provides unrestricted funds so that BronxWorks can expand the good work that we're doing with older adults and others in the community.
Yeah, I'm inspired even by our
Yeah.
conversation, Solomon. And,
Yeah.
I asked you earlier as well about a success story in a
Yes.
sense, and you shared Monica's journey. But I'd like to go back to you. Obviously being in this industry for over 20 years
Yeah.
at that, what got you inspired to join this industry, and what has it
I
been
love
like?
to tell this story. I got in by accident. I didn't even know what an older adult center was before I got in. And it was an opportunity that was opened up to me in BronxWorks, which has always been a great organization to work with. And as soon as I got there, I just felt like I was made to do this work. I love interacting with the older adults as well as my staff. I love being able to provide them with opportunities to simply enjoy life. I tell people my job is to have fun, and there's some paperwork involved. I've loved every minute of it. And I never would have thought of it, even when I was in college.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. I mean, you shared so many gems with us today in
Yeah.
this conversation. For our viewers watching, if they could take away one thing about the Older Adult Center, its mission, what would you say? What would you want them to take away?
I would want them to take away, so many people plan to retire, but they don't know what they're going to do in their retirement. And an older adult center is a wonderful opportunity to maintain your vitality, your joy, to fulfill dreams and visions that you thought maybe you couldn't fulfill, and to explore new avenues in your life. That's what I would want people to take away.
Yeah, and something that you said earlier too was that people think that when they come to these centers, it's for our older seniors, our wiser seniors to die, but no, it's to live.
It's to live.
We definitely picked that up. So thank you so much
Yeah.
again, Solomon, for joining us today.
Absolutely, Jonathan. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. To learn more about the services for older adult centers, please visit the website bronxworks.org. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Open after this.